Hi guys, Brain here, and welcome to another commentary video. Today I wanted to do a little bit of the, like a follow-up to the situation we had when we were talking about the politics side of DBD and that sort of thing, because I feel like that was a topic that, something that had been like bothering me for a while. And that video was like mostly coming from like a negative place. I felt like, oh, well, this bothers me and this upsets me. But I was talking in a stream with a couple of friends the other day, and I feel like I kind of found a way to kind of tie that into like a more positive outcome that is actually like helpful and good for people. So I wanted to kind of like follow up on that and talk about that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So I was on a stream and I was playing Survivor with a bunch of friends, and we were experiencing somebody who was bringing Devour into a match. And it was really, really frustrating for all of us involved, because if you don't know this right now, Devour has a bug where if it reaches 5 stacks and you cleanse it, for some reason, Devour Hope retains its 5 stacks, meaning that you can still mori the characters without having to hook them, even if the totem has been cleansed. It's a big bug right now. It's a very, very dangerous and upsetting bug because obviously being moried without being on death hook is a big deal. A big deal. That's like the whole reason we got rid of the old mori system, because that's how that used to work and everybody hated it. So to have that kind of like pseudo in the game again is like really, really annoying. One of my friends made a comment that kind of like set me off on this conversation, this idea that I have today, and that's that if it was a killer problem, it would have been dealt with immediately. If it were a killer problem, it would have been dealt with immediately. And that's kind of a take I've seen on both sides in like the full history of the game, just not that specific instance. It's like, oh, well, behavior favors survivors. If this was a survivor problem, this would have been fixed immediately. And obviously vice versa, like we just mentioned, where it's like, oh, well, behavior favors killers. Look at this patch they just put through, and now it's making everybody miserable. Behavior clearly caters to killers, and that's the only thing that they care about, and the rest of us can just, you know, go, the rest of us can go shove it, you know, like they don't care about us. And I'll tell you this, there is nothing in this game that will make you more miserable, than buying into this side v side warfare that exists in this game. Nothing is gonna make you more upset and more mad and frustrated with this game than buying into the side v side politics. Because like my friends were experiencing, like the Devour bug is frustrating. Behavior is aware of it. They have not fixed it yet. They have said they know about it and they're working on a fix. They have not fixed it yet though. So from a politically skewed lens, so somebody who's like, oh, I'm on the survivor side, right? Like, and I think that the killers are babied and they're the favorite side. They got really, really upset and really, really angry and were really, really furious with the fact that that was happening. That, like, you know, why is Devour not fixed? Clearly, behavior hates survivors, and it all landslided. Like something that was just frustrating and annoying, linchpinned into something so much more emotionally upsetting and impactful than realistically it should have been, because of that of being wrapped up in the idea of the, like, they were on the survivor political side, they were on the survivor side, so they saw that Devour had not been fixed right away as like a personal slight on not only them but other players like them and the whole group of players that are like them. And that takes like a relatively minor issue and blows it up into a huge emotionally distressing thing that it wasn't in the first place, because instead of just tying it to, oh, well, this is frustrating that this person may be exploiting a bug that exists right now, to, oh, well, it's DBD, it's behavior, they're out to get us, and we gotta lobby, we gotta fight for our place because behavior won't fight for us. Like it becomes such a much more larger and terrifying thing if you start assigning problems in the game to a specific like side v side mentality. You can't do that. Like, if you want to stay sane and keep playing this game, you gotta not buy into this side v side politics thing. And I'll tell you what, you guys know, if you've been with the channel a long time, I used to be somebody who is incredibly killer biased, very, very, very killer biased. It's okay to like killer more, be more interested in killer, which I still am, but like, you gotta like, I used to be like way, way, way more into like, you know, I was like almost in Reddit killer zone. Like that's how much I used to be biased towards killer. I used to be like a Reddit killer. But I remember those were some of the most unfun and unhappy times I personally have ever had in the game, is when I was in that like completely like politically brainwashed zone of like behavior hates killers, behavior will never adjust anything for killers, nobody cares about killers, all the survivors do is teabag and make fun of the killers, and everybody's out to get me. Like it was such a like emotionally upsetting place to be, and it felt like the slightest problems and things that happened in the game like landslided into something bigger. It started as a micro problem and evolved into this macro problem because I was deep in the political bias from my killer side. I think this is where a lot of people ultimately get so upset in this game, because something that is relatively micro becomes something really macro, because they're interested in like the side v side politics of what's going on. And in reality, I'm going to tell you this: there's no side v side politics. There's not really. That's kind of just something we do and fight each other with. You will probably feel like behavior favors a certain side, and often that will be the survivor side. It's because there's 4 survivors for every killer. That's just how it works typically. Like they're literally the larger player base, so they're just doing it proportionally based on business interests, because you know that is more of their player base. But besides that, I don't think behavior just secretly sitting here behind closed doors going, hey, yo, killer mains this month, you ain't getting nothing. Like survivor mains, you gotta just go shove it this month. Like I don't think they do that. I don't think realistically they sit behind closed doors and do that sort of thing. So the more you buy into this like falsehood that that's what they do behind closed doors, the more miserable you're gonna be. And if you want to keep being happy in Dead by Daylight, if you want to keep playing this game, you gotta really not buy into that side v side mentality. And I'm gonna tell you one thing, and this is gonna be perhaps not the nicest thing to say. A lot of people make it a side v side thing because they don't want to account for their own frustrations and mistakes. So they kind of just like pin it on behavior themselves, pin it on the company, like it's, oh well, it's their fault. Because you're mad and you don't know where to direct that energy, whether it be a mistake you made or just a perk strength that you don't like, and you don't know where to direct that energy. So you make it about the sides, and that's the scapegoat. That's the easy blame. Well, it's a side v side thing. Like clearly they favor survivors. Clearly they favor killers. Like it's an easy thing to blame, and it doesn't require thought. It doesn't require introspection. You just blame it on the thing and you call it a day. So it's easy, and I feel like that's why a lot of people do it. But like I've been saying in this video, most of those people are miserable. So if you don't want to be in that place where you're miserable a lot playing this game, don't buy into this load of crap. Don't buy into this stuff. And I guarantee you will be a lot happier. So what do you guys think? Do you think side v side politics play a lot into why people are upset? Or do you think it's not that big of a factor? Let me know down in the comments below. But on that, I will see you in tomorrow's video, friends. But if I don't, I will see you when I see you. Goodbye.